So how long have you been playing music?
I've been playing music, I guess, since I was 9 years old. So that's like almost like 18 years, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna do the math on it. I'm gonna take
A
your word
long
for it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. I started playing music when I was 9. Started playing music with the guys, like with the band that I'm in now, with Interwave, when I was 12. So that's been going on for almost 15 years.
Wow, man. What did you originally start off playing when you started playing instruments?
I started playing drums initially. That was my first instrument. Then I moved on to like guitar. From there, I moved on to bass and then keyboards. But yeah,
So it was a real transition. You can kind of see all the steps there.
yeah, for sure.
That's good,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man of many hats.
Yeah, it took a long time to get like decent for sure, but you know, I just, enjoyed playing music. And I think any other instrument I didn't know how to play yet was always like intriguing to me. So, you
The
know,
passion.
yeah,
Yeah.
just out of boredom too, I started playing in the church actually.
Ah,
Um,
okay, there it is. Yeah.
oh, my parents would take me often, and I would get bored inevitably as like a kid would at church. But the only thing that I felt was exciting was the music component. So that's why I started to play drums when I was like 9. I started learning when I was 9, started playing with the church band when I was like around 10 or something, in guitar, stuff like that.
So
But
that would you say that's what drew you into becoming a musician?
yeah, for sure. That was my start.
That's a good start, man. Early age.
Early age,
Yeah.
playing in a church band where like, they don't even call out the song. They just start playing it. So
Yeah.
I think that kind of helped my ear a lot too.
Sorry, you got to be on it.
Yeah,
what
it, yeah.
other stuff were you getting into as a kid?
What was I into? As a kid, I mean, I was into like skating. I think all the other guys were too. We all would like meet up to like rehearse, but then we would also just skate a lot. It was really just meeting up to hang out, and we'd kind of play music a little bit. Uh, but I was horrible. Like it took me like a year to learn how to ollie, and even then, I wasn't even good at
Like,
it.
look, man, I'll pick up any instrument, I'll learn it, but you got me fucked up if you think I'm gonna do a pop shover right now, dude. It's gonna take some time. Come back to me.
Exactly. Or honestly, any kind of sport, like any sport that involves like a ball, I feel like I would hit it in a way where the ball would just disappear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if we were playing soccer, they'd pass it to me and I'd kick it and then it'd go over the fence. Like that was always my thing.
Yeah. So there was some other connections outside of music between all of you guys.
Yeah, skating, Super Smash Bros. Uh what else? Yeah, that's kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up together. We were like in middle school together. So yeah,
Right. Right. Where did the name come from? Interwave.
the name, well, I came up with it. I came up with like a list of like 200 or so names. But honestly, a lot of them weren't good. So I just had this list, and I would show it to my friends in school and ask them which one they thought the best name was. And it was between Interwave and then there was another name that was like pretty close. Uh, but we ended up going with Interwave. I think more people liked that name, so I was like, all right. So I beta tested it. Um,
You put it out there. Yeah. A soft
yeah,
a soft launch.
yeah,
A soft
yeah,
opening.
exactly.
Yeah. How do you look at the name now? Do you still like it? Are you still glad that you went with that name out of the 200?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I like it. I think names are funny because I think you know they can be really ridiculous sometimes, but if you hear it enough, you associate it with the artist, you know, like
Right.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. If they didn't exist and someone said that's my band name right now, it'd be kind of like, what, you know? But because you know the band, it's like you kind of already, you're already, it's like, oh yeah, like you think of the logo, you think of like whatever.
Flea.
Yeah,
That's what I
Flea.
think of.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, so many names are kind of funny or just like random, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad name either.
Yeah.
There's worse ones. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So when did you start to feel like it wasn't just you guys hanging out and sometimes playing music, that it actually became a band? Was there a defining moment between
Um,
those two differences?
I'm trying to think. That's a good question. I think,
I appreciate it.
yeah, I think even though it was a lot of it was just us hanging up, kind of playing music, I think we had a desire to make it like a thing, you know, to really like go for it and like apply ourselves to it. But I think when you're that young, it's very hard for people to take you seriously with it. So they would just sort of be like, oh, that's cute, or, you know, not really a lot of booking for 12-year-old bands, you know, like it's kind of hard to find a place to play that isn't just like your house or like, you know, the local fair or something. But
Right.
I think maybe once we got older, I think like graduating high school, that's when we started to play a lot more like like venues, or not even venues but like bars, you know, because before that it was just like house shows and stuff like that, which was cool, but I feel like the bars were an introduction to a different group of people that didn't know us at all, that were there for a different reason, that got to see us. So probably that, probably like starting to play places that aren't like a friend's house.
So when, yeah, that's when you started kind of gaining some traction and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. Cause then, you
Yeah.
know, make friends with bands that we're playing and then get on another lineup. And then you start moving like that. And before you know it, you're playing like pretty often, all for free pretty much at this point still. But, you know, that just felt good. That's all we've ever really wanted to do, is just be able to like play, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So did you guys share similar musical interests while formulating this band? I mean, from when you were 12 to now, I mean, did you guys share the same core ideas in music?
There's a lot of overlap for sure. There's like artists that we all like, uh from all different kinds of genres, but I think everyone has their own kind of like leanings, you know. um
What are some of yours?
uh what are some of mine? I think I mean, I was super into like MF Doom in high school, so, and also into kind of all over the place. I feel like some death metal stuff sometimes, you know. Um, what else? Like electronic stuff, a lot of hip hop. I know for Eli, his parents raised him on a lot of like classic rock type stuff. Uh, Gene's into like a lot of like Spanish music. Yeah, our original drummer was super into like reggaeton, so like Daddy Yankee and like stuff like that. uh, so yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
Right. Right. I mean, but there was some commonality between your interest and everybody else's interest, and then them looking at everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Gotcha. And do you think that that is a large, you can feel, do you feel that in the music that you create with them, that there's your influences and everybody else's influences as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to pin. I mean, yeah, short answer, yes. But sometimes it's hard to pinpoint where it comes out. I think just people having different sources of inspiration kind of create this sort of I wouldn't have thought of that, so someone else does.
Right.
So it comes out that way, but I wouldn't. Sometimes it's not. It's often not specific, you know. So if someone's really into that kind of music, it doesn't mean that it'll sound that way. It just means that they're thinking differently, you know. Sometimes.
Right. You're like, oh, you're taking this in a whole nother direction, which is good though, because you can see that different idea. You're like, oh, okay, I would never come up with that.
Yeah, you don't want to get stale too, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. When you listen to a song, what do you think you're drawn to listening to most intently?
Like what element?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it depends on the genre, maybe.
What about MF Doom? What do you listen to?
Ooh, the sample
What stands out? Yeah, that's true. What drives you to make music, man?
I'm broke. No, I'm just kidding. I've always loved music. I've always wanted to make music that made me feel something, you know. I think hearing those like songs that really resonate with you when you're like a kid, that made you have a reaction. I always felt like that was the goal, you know, for music, for me to create something like that. And I guess the desire to continue is also just like continuing that pursuit, you know, of creating something that makes people feel something, but primarily makes me feel something, you know, because I guess it starts there. Yeah, because even if, you know, with the band, if it was just over tomorrow, like I would still be doing music, you know. It's just part of how I process life too, I think, you know, because writing songs and stuff is it's almost like kind of like a diary in a way, kind of introspective. And when I put on like songs of ours from like before, like older tracks, just reminds me of so many memories of so many things of a different time. And yeah, I think I would just keep doing that, you know.
Yeah, just to keep on keeping a
log kind of.
Yeah, kind of a log thing. Yeah, that's really interesting, man. I don't think a lot of people could say that about like there's like, oh, I was feeling this way, or this was about something that I was going through at this time. And that's a really interesting way to go about life. It's like it's there, it's living still, even though you passed it years ago.
Sure. Have you ever seen this movie called The Butterfly Effect?
Yeah, man, I remember it being so weird. I watched it when I was real young, and I gotta go back and watch it. I remember it being like real trippy. Yeah. Is it still like looking at it in a different light? Is it so crazy?
I haven't seen it in forever, so I don't know. I probably saw it like, you know, the last time I saw it was when I was a kid too. But I was gonna say, like, in that movie, right? He's like, if he reads his journals, then he like travels back to that time.
Yeah, right. Like yeah. I forgot about that. Ashton Kutcher, man.
Yeah,
the best.
Golden era of Ashton Kutcher.
That 70s show.
Yeah, I think that was like right after.
I think right around that time. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I remember that being an odd movie. Are you watching a lot of movies as of late?
Not as many as I'd like, but I love movies. I love film. Especially in the last year, I got to watch a bunch of stuff. I had so much time on my hands.
Right. But, yeah, I was doing the same thing too, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this critically acclaimed movie, whatever. Yeah.
I would balance it out. I'd feel like I'd watch something that was critically acclaimed or like important, and then I'd watch like, you know, like Superbad or something, just to sort of like balance it out.
Also important. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Did you watch anything interesting though?
Recently, I watched Rear Window, that Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Okay.
Yeah, which is good. And I watched the conversation or the conversationalists with Gene Hackman, which is an interesting one. Very slow though, but it was good. I'm glad I watched it. Yeah. And Chinatown.
Oh, okay.
I finally got around to watch it. Yeah, it's good. It was a really good one.
I've been wanting to watch that one.
I recommend it, man. And it's on Netflix right now. So I don't know if it's gonna be on for a year.
Yeah.
So I mean,
after this call, I better hop on there before they take it off.
Today's the day. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. And also The Great Escape with Steve McQueen. So
nice.
Yeah. All these things that I've been told to watch. And all right. Yeah. I'm finally gonna do it. Yeah. Offer recommendations and whatnot. Yeah.
Pretty good list.
Right. I thought so. Yeah. Now I really gotta watch like a bad movie.
Yeah.
Just to like reset the palate, because not everything's gonna be that good.
Yeah. Watch Space Jam, the new one. I heard that.
Yeah, bad. People didn't like it, man. That's what I heard. I never even saw the original one. So really? I mean, yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you didn't watch it as a kid, it might not hit the same, you know, it might not feel the same.
Right.
Because I also haven't seen it in so long. But I heard that this new one's pretty bad. Yeah.
How do you feel your inspirations have changed over since being like 12 to, I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 26.
So from 12 to 26, I mean, or whenever you started writing music, right around 12, I mean, yeah. I'm assuming there's been a large jump in what you wanted to pen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot more influences, a big steady diet of music and sources of inspiration. I think the core, at its core, it's kind of the same though. Yeah.
I mean, the ideas that you implemented back then that are standard ideas, the basis of it is not changing, but other aspects are.
Yeah, like I watched this like interview with Prince's producer, I think, and she was talking about how he was saying that Prince had this like idea that everyone has like a musical street. It's like your influences are this musical street and you can go visit different places in town, but you always have like where you live, kind of where you come from.
Right.
And I feel like that like analogy definitely I resonated with that, because I think I grew up being really into the early 2000s garage rock stuff that was happening in New York, and you know, and I think bands like that were the blueprint for what I wanted to do. And now that I'm older, it's changed, it's developed and explored different genres and different styles, but at its core, like the identity of the band stems from that DNA, sort of.
It hasn't changed, hasn't altered.
Yeah, it hasn't altered. It's developed, you know.
Yeah.
It's grown up, I guess. But yeah.
That's interesting, man. When you started playing quote unquote real shows, who did you play alongside when you guys were trying to gain some notoriety?
Actually, I had a friend, his name was Justin. Is Justin. I haven't spoken to him in a while though, but he was in a band called Devola. So I feel like I owe a lot to them, because graduating from high school, there was a little bit of a limbo period where high school's over, so the high school parties are kind of over. So those shows are non-existent right now, and we're not playing at any place yet. But I was working at like this private school. I started, you know, we hit it off because we were talking about like pedals and gear and shit like that. And I remember he was saying he was always playing at these like bars with his band, and that we should go check him out. And I did. And then he told him that I did music. So then he listened to it. He really liked it and was like, oh, you should like open for us sometime. And that was the start of us playing a lot more shows from then on, you know.
Yeah.
So I owe a lot to Justin and yeah.
Very important catalyst, it seems.
Yeah, you know, because you just need someone to like give you a shot, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you have you know, if you're already playing shows and like I don't know, it's kind of nice to just give someone an opportunity to do their thing, you know.
Right. Do you feel like that you try to implement that in the position that you're in now to other people, to other lesser known bands?
I try, yeah, you know, lesser known bands, lesser known artists. But it's tough, you know, because sometimes it doesn't always work out, you know.
And
But
that's your shot, man.
yeah, yeah. uh I just yeah, I try to, you know, always remember um what I sort of went through coming up, like you being younger, and the responses I got from certain people that made me feel good and made me feel seen, and sort of um the other responses that also made me feel sort of like no one gives a shit, you know. And I try to lean towards the, you know, being like a positive reinforcement.
Right, right. I mean,
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, because nobody could beat you up as bad as you could beat yourself up, especially like
sure,
looking back on other things. Yeah.
sure, yeah.
So I mean, so when you guys started, when did you guys finally start touring? When did you finally say it's time to expand?
Well, we started touring, like actually touring, in 2017. um I would have done it like a lot earlier, but we just didn't know how that whole thing worked at all. And in 2017 we started touring, um actually going out of the state. You know, it was just sort of like a West Coast, like a Southwest tour. um but yeah, that was like the start. I think after 2017, 2018 was full of touring. 2019 was pretty, you know, also filled with touring. But then towards the end of 2019, we were so burnt out from, you know, 2 years of just almost not being home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we decided to like not tour for the last half of 2019, and thinking that in 2020 we were going to hit it super hard. And then, you know, the pandemic happened, so we haven't really played a show since, yeah, like the end of 2019.
Shit, man. I mean, but that's kind of right around the time when stuff started, early
Early,
early 2020. So yeah,
yeah.
you wouldn't kick that anyways, dude. That's it.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
What
uh,
was the camaraderie like for your first tour? Well,
um
the one that you mentioned previously, the kind of it was a tour, the mini tour.
yeah. uh it was fun. It was the camaraderie was great, you know. Everyone was yeah, everyone was just getting along, having fun. Felt like a movie, you know. Had never done it before, and we were in a position where I kind of didn't really know where things were going to go, because it had felt a little stagnant for a minute. But going out of the state, out of our like area, to go play more shows, places like Texas, and hearing people sing the songs and stuff like that, was surreal, and sort of gave us this boost of confidence and reassurance that we're on the right path, and people really liked what we were doing. And it resonated with people, like I mentioned earlier, that being the ultimate goal. So um, yeah, but it was a blast, you know. I think, like like I said, we started playing together when we were 12 years old. So the guys in the band, they're practically like family, you know. They're my brothers. And with that, I think we've gotten really good at not overstepping people's space or trying to, because being stuck in a van for a month and a half in the heat and playing sweaty shows all the time in a hectic environment, it's like you're prone to feel a little irritated,
Snaps. Yeah.
But we've gotten good at, not stepping on each other's toes, I think.
Sure. Do you think that you guys would have gotten as far as you have currently if you guys weren't so close, like developed a genuine friendship outside of music?
No, I don't think so. I think it's like our secret weapon, It's kind of yeah, I don't know. I just hear about so many bands that don't like each other, and I'm like, how do you get why don't you just quit,
Yeah. Oasis. Yeah, no, I hear
you
what you're
know?
saying, man.
And it's like that's just a shitty way to go through life. It's just, you know, just be upset all the time, I guess.
Yeah, be agitated.
Yeah, but now, like, we all get along and we're friendly people, so I think people get along with us too. Yeah.
That's good, man. Now, what kind of advice would you give a group of kids, much like yourselves, at 12 years old? They're going to start a band today.
They were to start a band today. Probably go viral on TikTok. Get yourself some sponsorships. Sell out as quickly as you can. No, but in all honesty, I guess just focusing, it's kind of sound like an old man answer, but I guess just focusing and discipline, I think for us, we didn't really focus on the social media aspect of stuff for so long because I was not really on stuff for a long time. But I see people that like kill it with that and get really ahead, but the music's kind of not good, And then I see people on the other end that focus solely on the music and just trying to get really good at doing at their craft, but they neglect the whole presentation or that whole thing, and they're kind of not seen. So I'd say it's just like a balance, focus on the important things, but as long as you're on it and disciplined, it might not happen in a year, it might not happen in 15, but if you love it, you should do it, try it out.
Right. Do you think that you learned kind of the some rules to be an adult, such as like get stuff done, don't procrastinate on shit, blah blah blah, like that, like those kind of ideas through being in a band and trying to get stuff going for yourself?
Yeah, I think so, because I think being in a band is also like owning like a small business, when you have like merch and you have like these plans and yeah, it's kind of like that. So if you don't do it, no one will. So there is this sort of, you know, fire under your ass to sort of, get the ball rolling. Um, but I think I'm also just kind of naturally have that. I feel like part of me is really lazy and doesn't want to do anything. But the other part of me, uh, I feel like when I kind of focus on something, I try my best to get it done. And I'm very much like a list person, on my notes on my phone, I actually have a list for every day of things to do. So it's kind of like a missions objective thing. But that's just, sometimes when I get too stressed out, I feel like the list is just kind of ridiculous. It's like reminding myself to brush my teeth at a certain point, and like to eat a certain meal. It's just, it's things that don't need to be on a list. But yeah.
You put it down anyways because it needs to get done.
Yeah, and then when you delete it, it feels like an achievement. When you see the list shrink, you feel like you're doing something.
You're accomplishing it.
Yeah, because if I didn't have lists, honestly, I would kind of the days would just fly by, and I would not be able to. I feel like I would not be able to get things done.
Right. It needs to be organized in a set thing, in a set time frame.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you consider the first major success for Interwave to be, looking back on it now?
Mm. There's so many like moments that could count as.
If you got multiples, man, it doesn't have to be singular. I'm not trying to put you in a box here.
I appreciate that.
No problem, dude.
I mean, the tour, like touring in 2017, it's a major milestone that really kickstarted off, us touring but I think even before that, we did a couple shows at the Smell in this venue in LA. I don't know if are you in LA by any chance?
No, I'm Orange County, but
Nice.
I do know about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I spend a lot
Smell.
of time there. My girlfriend's from there. So I'm in that area a lot.
All right.
But yeah.
It's good to hear, man.
Yeah. But I think playing shows like at the Smell in downtown, that kind of felt like a milestone for us because in high school I always wanted to play there and I never got a chance to. And then a couple years later, we're playing like I think we might have done 3 or 4 shows there in 1 year, and they were all sold out, over capacity, and that felt good. It felt sort of like a full circle moment.
I'm sure it felt pretty hot in there too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they don't call it the Smell for nothing.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's pretty sticky, sweaty. Yeah.
I mean, those some pretty large things to have under your belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything like on the list perhaps that you want to achieve through this band that you haven't already done?
I mean, we were on the bill to play Coachella in 2020. So I think we're on the bill to play next year. So assuming, nothing goes haywire, I'd love to do that. That'd be a major milestone for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sky's the limit. It'd be amazing to say like, yeah, headline Coachella at some point. But we'll see, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're on the way to do that though? Do you feel like you're heading in the right direction to achieve these goals?
I mean, the modest side of me is wanting to say, you never know. And if we get there, that'd be great. And we'd be very appreciative. We're just trying our best. And the other side of me feels like it will for sure happen. I don't know why. I guess maybe as an artist, you need to have that sort of confidence there because for so long, for over 10 years, there wasn't a huge progress, but we kept doing it. So you almost got to be kind of delusional in that way to be like,
So it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. There's no way it can't.
And it did. It did though.
Yeah, and it did. So hopefully we just keep that going. Maybe that's the recipe,
Yeah. Why do you think so many people are attracted to the music that you make?
Just thinking of like all the dumbest answers to give right now, but I'm gonna answer it seriously. I don't know.
This is a serious answer, man. That's a serious answer.
I have no idea. The first thing I was gonna say is because it's good, but that was just me being dumb.
It's confidence, dude. It's confidence.
Yeah. But I have no idea.
Do you feel like you're going down a path of people that you respect in music, in the paths that they chose musically? Are you making music that you would want to listen to?
Yes, for sure.
Yourself?
Yes. Yeah. That, like I said, that's where it starts, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
If we did, I think we already went over that, but I just want to reiterate it, I guess.
yeah. And as
Second
far as
time.
like as far as like going down the path of people that I respect, I mean, uh in some ways, yeah, I mean, it's just trying to do stuff. Um, but I guess, you know, time will tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious that you guys are doing big stuff, which is like great. I mean, progression is always good in anything.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, to be stagnant is not where you want to be with anything, any creative
Yeah,
endeavor, anything. So movement is always good.
definitely. I always try to have a growth mindset when it comes to things, you know. But like I heard you say that, you know, like we're doing big things and stuff. And not that I don't think we are, but I think the other side of this is like it's hard to see yourself, like it's hard to see what you come across as sometimes, you know.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. You don't know how somebody else perceives you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perceives you, perceives like the band, perceives where you're at. And because I have a certain way of thinking about it, but I think when I talk to people I realize that it's not the same, you know.
Yeah.
um yeah, I feel like I'm, yeah, in no way do I feel like I've made it, you know. I because I don't know if I'll ever have that feeling, but you know, I'm just happy to be working, you know, like in something that I care about.
Right. Right. So if you weren't doing music, do you think that you would have put this creative ideas and whatnot into something else, into another form of creativity, another medium of some sort?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into to film and movies, so maybe something in that world. Also, before the last job I had was working at a restaurant as a cook, and that was actually really fun. I love cooking, so maybe I'd try to be a chef or work in the kitchen or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was walking by this restaurant yesterday,
Mhm.
and it said in the sign or in the window, and it said like hiring chefs and dishwashers, experience like needed. I was like, well, I mean, like never washed a dish professionally, but like let me just see if like I was like, okay, maybe they're just talking about the chefs. And then so I walked in there, and then he was like, oh, order. I was like, no. So I saw your sign outside. Like, is there, I mean, like, I don't have any experience washing dishes, but is there any way, like, it's like not that hard? He's like, nope, no. I was like, all right, man.
Wow,
He said
made
no because I didn't have an experience washing. I mean, like, I've washed dishes, man, but like not in like a,
in
oh,
a
hey,
high stress environment.
sure. I
Yeah,
was flabbergasted, but
was it a
I
big restaurant, like a big?
no, it was, and it even said like on the thing, it said like a soft open is what it said, like a huge banner. It's like, all right, well, we couldn't just try this out. Like, how bad could I fuck it up
Yeah,
of washing a dish? But
true.
yeah, I like to put myself out there though. I've been putting myself out there a lot recently, which is good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I
It's
always
not
had,
good I didn't get the job though, dude. It's not.
yeah, that sucks.
That
But
sucks.
I feel like I've always had the worst luck at getting jobs, like applying for places. Like I had friends that any job they applied to, they'd get it, and it pissed me off because I would it would I would really only got a job if I was referred by a friend who also works there. That's the only way I've ever got any job, actually.
It's just you have to the middleman there,
Yeah,
that
that's
that
like,
kind of branch.
yeah, like, yeah, you should hire him. Because other than that, it's been like a million no's. And it's frustrating because you're just like, what the fuck? Like, how am I supposed to get experience doing anything? Like, even getting hired, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, it's an issue. It's an issue, man. What
Yeah.
would be your dream job outside of making music full time? Like kind of like a just kind of like a normal job that people would look at as being normal.
Is being a chef normal?
I mean it's more normal than being a musician, making money off of that, like making good money off of that.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
maybe a chef, that'd be a pretty sick. I mean, and also like kind of a high intensity thing depending on what kitchen you're in, but um I love it, you know. I love
Right.
food, so that'd be fun.
Yeah. Are you a drinker?
Yeah, I like drinking. And I think, working in the kitchen in the
I was gonna
back.
say, dude, the chef. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen what's Anthony Bourdain, what was that? Kitchen Confidential.
Yeah.
That book. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually bought that book. I have not read it.
Well, I just gave you a good plot point, I think. I've
Yeah.
heard. I've never read it either. So
You never read it?
no.
I bought it. I was like thinking like I'm gonna read this book. And I just haven't. I wish I liked reading more, but I really force myself to do it just because I know it's like you gotta do it.
And it's good. It's good for you. It's good. I mean, and you're getting off of devices and whatnot that's like keeping you up late at night.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this all as I have a fucking TV on. So I'm not, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not anybody to say anything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've gotten so many books. Like I gotta read this, but I know it's a good book. I gotta read it. And then it's just it's so hard to get that going, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but once you're in a book, you're like, okay, yeah, like now I know that what's up with it. But it's that going into the unknown is the issue. For
Yeah.
me at least.
Yeah, true. I think sometimes I start reading and I start to think like, damn, like this is a long book as I'm reading. So then I kind of have to go back and I'm like, I don't remember what I just read,
Right.
And then I would stay on a page and I'll just be like, what am I doing? It's like my brain is trying to like not let any of that info in here.
No, it's like you got other shit on the forefront, man.
Yeah.
Let that linger in the back.
But if I watch a documentary, like I can remember like all of that.
Right.
Maybe I'm just like a visual learner. I don't know.
Right. And I mean, books have nothing to do with visual, so it's.
Maybe I just need. I need like a picture book. Like the kids like.
Yeah. Right.
The pop-up pictures and shit. Like
yeah.
That's more my vibe, I think.
Man, you see no pictures in any books anymore. I don't, man. Which is fine. It's all right. But you know what? You know what pisses me off about that?
What?
That you'll read the book, right? And then you
Mhm.
got this idea of what this person looks like, and it's never what you think. It's never like,
Yeah.
Brad Pitt was not in this fucking book, man. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
That wasn't him. He wasn't holding Caulfield, dude.
Mhm.
or whoever,
Exactly. He wasn't Benjamin Button. Was that even a book?
I don't think that was a book. That'd be a wild book, though. You have to like read it from the end and then go forward.
Oh,
it'd be some weird shit
manga?
like that. Like a what?
Like a manga, like the Japanese like anime.
I keep on hearing this word, man. I didn't know. So explain to me exactly what it is. It's manga, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now give me the synopsis of this because I don't know.
Well, I don't really know either, but from what I know, like I've never read one, so there's that. But like friends would read it, and I guess it's like you read it from the back to the front because of how, I don't know, maybe it's because how Japanese is. That maybe not.
I've heard that they read from right to left. Is that what you're referring to? Right to left, or do you? Okay.
Yes, right to left.
Okay.
So maybe you don't start in the back. You just read it right to left. I don't know. Like I said, I've never read one before, but yeah.
Man, I'm gonna find out what it is. If it takes me forever, I'm gonna figure out what exactly it is. But
I think it's just like an anime book, right?
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just like the very short, concise answer of that's what it is.
Yeah.
But people have been talking about it, man.
Yeah.
But good. I'm glad that you broke it for me, or at least cracked the surface of it.
I cracked the egg a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, because nobody described it to me. Nobody.
Were they?
I didn't know
from you. Were they like?
Maybe it's like a whole conspiracy thing, dude. I don't know. I don't know. And maybe I'm not supposed to know. It's a fucking Truman Show over here. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I can I'll buy you one. I'll send it over to you so you could
send it over to me. And I really get into it.
Yeah, then you can tell me what it's all about.
Yeah. When do you feel you're the most creative? Like when do you get these bursts of when to create a song or write something down or expand upon an idea?
Yeah, I have bursts sometimes, you know. Either I feel like camping or being out in nature definitely has stimulates that.
That's cool, man.
Trips, you know, going on trips too. Um, Sometimes when something bad happens, it kind of can also serve as a, a catalyst for creativity.
That's less cool than the camping, but I understand.
Yeah, yeah, true. Uh, I think even touring, even though touring could be a little bit repetitive, being like playing a show every night and seeing people's reaction to songs, you almost it's almost like you know you start to feel like you know what people would be into. Kind of like if you're DJing at a party and then you're imagining what song that doesn't exist yet would also be really cool for the party.
Yeah.
It's like that. So I think for our EP WYA, when we got off of touring, I wrote that with the guys pretty quick because we had all this like backed up creativity since we were away for so long. When we came back, we just recorded it super fast, you know.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But
That's
other
good though,
than
man.
that,
I mean,
yeah, I think
it's an interesting thing that you would have all this energy after a tour, like to be like, all right, now we have to like let's attack this. Let's write something else. Let's make something.
a different kind of energy for sure. But yeah, it's kind of because one part of touring and playing shows is a very important part for us. And then on the other side, it's like creating and recording and producing our stuff is the other important side. So for example, right now we've spent a lot of time with the recording side, you know, with this new we have a new album coming out and we have the singles coming out, but we haven't had the shows, so we're like starved for that. So if all goes well next year, we'd love to just tour the whole year, you know? And then I'm sure we'll be starved of the other side. So we're gonna want to like stay home and work on music and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, it's good that it's like two separate things because if you get bored of one thing, you can focus on another.
Yeah,
Usually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. It's just so crazy that yeah, like the energy, a different type of energy, as you said, to go and write something. I mean, could you, whatever the energy is to you, because it's hard to explain because it's something that you feel yourself, but would you be able to tap into the energy in a outside of not being on the road for, I mean, a long time and then just going back into the studio and writing something?
Like kind of on command.
Not on command, but like, could you eventually get to that state of mind?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think there's like, I guess, two schools of thought when it comes to creativity. I mean, there's probably more, but these are like the really prominent ones. One is sort of you don't write anything until you feel inspired, and that's the only time you write. And then, but that, you know, that could be never, you know, that could be you just never feel inspired. And then the other side is you write like it's a job, you know, like you wake up at 8, you record from 10 to noon, and you just do that, um, which is great, but could also lead to it being uninspired work and just sort of monotonous.
Forced. Yeah.
Yeah, forced stuff. I like to kind of be in between those two, where if I really feel strongly about something, then I'll do it because I know that's sort of precious and sort of you don't get that every day. That sort of feeling or idea. But I also, when I don't feel that way, I sort of force myself to write stuff, and I usually go into it thinking like it's not gonna. It doesn't matter if it's not good, you know. Keeping expectations super, super low, because at the end of the day, if we write something and we don't like it, we wrote something and that's fine. And sometimes in doing that, you stumble upon something that then you get inspired, you know? So you got to get the gears turning, even if you don't feel like there's somewhere to go just yet.
Right. Right. Do you feel like you're balancing those two opposite kind of ends of the spectrum evenly?
Yeah. I mean, it changes, you know? Sometimes I'm way more inspired and stuff's just, you know,
Shooting out.
flowing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Other times, I don't even know what the thing should sound like. Everything feels very random and scattered and no directionless, you know? But I guess it depends on my current state, you know? So
Right.
if I'm feeling more this way, then I'll lean towards that. And if I'm not, then I'll lean the other way.
Circumstantial.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. Has there been an idea that you've come across and it's, I mean, you always have like looked at it, it's like that'd be great to use, and then it never turned into anything?
Um there was like, I think after we put out our album Sun Transmission, there was this idea I had when I was really stoned of doing like it it I was thinking of it as like an Egyptian like electronic dance record. And I don't even know like what that means really, you know? But I just remember having like an idea of what the artwork should look like and what the vibe of it should be. But I was also really high, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so I don't think I feel bad that I didn't pursue that one. Because I think we did Underwater Pipe Dreams instead. Um, but maybe I'll bring it out in 2022.
I
Damn,
mean,
2022.
yeah, that's gonna be odd to jot down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, for sure.
It always feels weird.
Yeah.
In school, outside of school, doesn't matter where you are. The first time you write that, you're like, is that no? Well, the first time you write it, you do like whatever last year's was. And you're like, oh shit, that
Yeah,
wasn't it. Then
exactly.
it feels weird. Yeah.
Lots during 2020, I would put the date and I'd just leave it as 20. And then someone told me that I shouldn't do that because then they can add whatever year afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was told to me. That was told to me in a class, in like a college class. It's like, A,
Mhm.
you don't require anything to be turned in really. B, that's really odd. Like, what am I writing down that people want
Mhm.
to doctor?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and B, who writes like 7/2/2012? Like, I never fucking did that. Do you write the date like that ever? Or do
Like,
you just do like 7/20/12, right? Like, you wouldn't put the full year, would you?
no, I just started doing that with 2020 because it was,
Oh, I know, man.
yeah.
Yeah. But
So,
I never even thought about doing that though. I was like, I would just hyphenate it. I don't know.
yeah.
There's nothing that important that I'm writing down that people need to
Well,
like,
I guess
oh
if you're
man.
signing like something, you know, like a
Yeah, but I'm not
contract.
I'm not signing that, dude. I'm taking notes on econ, you know?
Sure, sure. I
Nobody
guess,
needs it.
yeah, you're right. It's probably just like
Nobody
a
needs it.
habit, you know, a habit they wanted to instill. Uh, but
Right,
no,
but
that's the only time.
it's a weird habit that I didn't pick up, and nor will I ever
Mhm.
until 3,000 probably.
Yeah, because you don't need to do it now anymore. It's 2021. If someone wrote 21, it's not going to be 2100 anytime soon. So
Right.
yeah, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
It was
I think
just
I'm
that
good.
year, I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I didn't need to do it. And you know what? I stood up against it. I said, no way. It's 20. That's it.
Proud of you, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I'd die on that hill, dude. What what is the best part about touring in your eyes?
Going home, probably. Sorry. Sorry. I feel like I just always have like some dumb shit to say, and it's a constant battle in my life to not say it.
Dude, I want to hear it, man. And what's the worst part?
uh
Leaving home.
going home probably. No, but the funnest part of tour, I mean, I love knowing what I'm gonna do every day. Because I guess I mentioned earlier, I'm very much like a list person. So, you wake up at this time, be there at this time, we eat at this time, sound check is at this time, the show, and then you hang out and then you sleep. And then you do it again in a different location. It's like a video game, and it's for me, I feel very fulfilled when I'm doing it because I feel like I'm on tour, I'm doing a thing, I'm being productive, even if I'm just, eating and drinking and playing shows. It's not like, it's not like I'm in school or I don't know. It's pretty fun. It
Right.
has its cons, but it's definitely an enjoyable thing. But I guess the worst part about it is how I feel like it could be pretty strenuous on your body. I mean, early on, we didn't know if this would only be our only tour, if this was going to continue. So we just would, party and have fun, probably drink too much. And when you do that day in, day out, it starts to take a toll, that shitty gas station food, not sleeping well. So I think as we've toured more and more, we've gotten better at sort of, pulling back or, trying to manage stuff. Like this night, we'll have fun. But these other nights, I'm going to sleep, yeah, probably the damage it does to your body sometimes.
Do the pros outweigh the cons overall or vice versa?
Yes. For me, they do. I love touring. I love road trips in general. So this is like a road trip that I'm getting paid to do. And I love playing shows. So there's that. And like I said earlier, I love food. So depending on what city we're in, I know there's like something I want to try. Different cities they do different things better, So I look forward to that, And also touring, you start to learn your spots. There's different places that you go to for this or for that. So that's fun.
You gotta hit the spots, man. Yeah, it's true.
Gotta hit the spots for sure.
Gotta hit them. Gotta hit them, man. Well, listen, dude, I like to wrap this up with some promo. So
Yeah.
The people can find and stream Interwaves music on all streaming platforms, right? You're everywhere.
All of them, all over the place.
All over the place. And the people can buy the merch at interwave.xyz.
Yep.
Awesome. Is there anything else we got to plug?
I think that's pretty much it. We got the new album coming out in September.
What's it called?
It's called Apoptosis.
Apoptosis. Yep. Where did that come from? Was that another, like, did you write 100 or 200 ideas down? No. What does apoptosis mean though? What is the definition?
It's basically programmed cell death. It's a biology term, and it means it's basically when your body gets rid of the cells that it doesn't need anymore, like to make room for like new healthy cells to grow.
Is that like the 7-year process? Like all of them get flushed out every 7 years or something like that? Or am I just thinking about something else?
To that, I just know that when apoptosis doesn't occur in the human body, that's when you start to get things like cancer and really bad things start to happen. And I just kind of saw it as like a really scientific, smart sounding way of kind of having like a phoenix metaphor, like die and rebirth type thing,
rising from the ashes.
And I think with this last year being as crazy as it was for everyone and everything, it felt like I was holding on to that name for a while, and it seemed like this was the appropriate album for that.
Awesome, so, man. And what was the date on that? September, or do you have a release date?
September 30th, right?
September 30th.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, be sure to check, and the people can find that like just on social media, right?
On social media. Yeah, on Instagram. I think our Instagram's
Yeah.
INNRWVE.
Yeah, no E in that.
No E in the inner, no A in wave. It's
It's neat.
because
It's neat.
they I guess they don't want to give us the proper interwave handle just yet, but
Because it's
hopefully.
neat. That's why. That's why.
Hopefully
Right,
one day.
it was a pleasure, dude. All right, I'll talk
Yeah.
to you in a second. I'm gonna stop recording this. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.